What's going on? My name is Francis, and if you're new to this channel, consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell because I post a new video every single day. If you want to become a private client, then consider applying for a free consultation by hitting the website that's in the description box of this video. What we're going to be talking about in this video is how to speed up manifestation in your life, okay? Because when it comes to manifesting and using the law of attraction, it really is about your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions that lead to actions. But it's very important to understand what is the thing that will allow you to actually change your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions that will lead to actions. Because if you just try to go straight for the action, or you just try to go straight for the affirmations and rewriting your story, but you haven't dealt with things that need to be dealt with, then you're not going to have a successful time when it comes to manifesting. Because manifesting is not just about writing a new story for yourself and then focusing on what you want. You have to actually deal with the things that are also blocking you from receiving what you want. Because a lot of the times the universe is trying to give you exactly what it is that you want. But we also have resisting thoughts that are going against that. We also have a lot of contradictory thoughts that are going against our desires. So it's very important to understand where are those contradictory thoughts actually coming from? What is the core foundation? What is the core issue that is blocking us from actually manifesting what we want? Because when it comes to manifesting what you want, you can sit there and focus on affirmations all day. You can take action on your goals all day. You can use all the willpower that you want. But if there is still unconscious resistance happening in the background, unconscious meaning that you don't realize that it's happening, then you will forever be limited to fully reaching your potential when it comes to manifesting quickly. And a lot of the times it doesn't happen very quickly. It takes consistent action that you have to maintain in that vibration. And even though doubts may come up, can you let go of those doubts, release the resistance, and then stay continually on that vibration and see that vision and follow through? Because manifestation doesn't happen just like that sometimes. Sometimes you have to actually work for it. But then in that process, some doubt's gonna come up, and then are you gonna be able to let that go and then continue on your path? But then the main key here is to understand the block. So what is the block? The block is your ego, okay? Because here's the thing, is that a lot of us are unconsciously absorbed in the thinking mind without even realizing it, okay? And that means that a lot of us are absorbed in our thinking and we're unconscious that we're doing this. So our attention and our focus and our awareness is unconsciously absorbed in the thinking mind unconsciously. Some people call this the ego. And when you are absorbed into the ego, that ego is controlling your life. That ego includes a lot of anxiety, a lot of fear, a lot of worry, a lot of guilt, and a lot of shame, and all the lower level emotions. And if you are absorbed in the ego, you're usually always projecting unconsciously into the future. You're also projecting unconsciously into the past. And the ego is also in continual resistance to the present moment. It's continually resisting the present moment. It's not allowing the moment to be as it is, but it wants to be in some other moment than this moment right now. It's continually in resistance, saying that this moment shouldn't be the way that it is. And I need to have some future vision, and it's attached to that vision. And so it's important to have a vision, but the ego is attached to the vision, which actually creates resistance, which doesn't allow you to create that vision. So the ego in itself is a block from allowing the law of attraction to work for you in a very fast way. It doesn't always have to be fast, but even in the long term, or fast or slow or any scale, the time doesn't even matter because time is an illusion anyway. The ego is completely blocking you from actually living into your manifestations a lot faster, because the ego, once again, is in resistance. And when you're in resistance to something, you create more of that. If you're in resistance to the present moment and you don't prefer something to be in that way, but you're in resistance, you're just going to create more of that. You're going to create more of that in your reality. You're going to be forced to live in a loop of the same patterns of your mind. And so this goes a lot deeper than just manifesting quickly. This is actually creating a lot of suffering in our lives, and the mind is actually creating that suffering because we're unconsciously absorbed in the mentality that we continually have. The thoughts are what creates the resistance, not the situation. And so when you can have awareness of the ego and not be completely absorbed into it, in the awareness of the ego will actually be the letting go of the ego. Because when you're aware of something and you're fully conscious of something, you can actually let it go. Whereas when you were unconscious of it, you're going to continue to relive that reality for yourself. So to speed up your manifestation is actually to become aware of the ego, simply be the witnessing presence of the ego, meaning simply be the witnessing presence of that voice in your head, of those thoughts that you tell about yourself, and then simply watch them. You can do this with practicing things like meditation, where you can simply observe your thoughts rather than attach to them. And then when you can simply allow negative thoughts to be there and then let them go, because in the awareness of them is the letting go, that will allow you to manifest much quicker. But if you don't have awareness and you're unconsciously absorbed in your thinking, then you're not going to be able to actually let go of the ego. And you're not going to be able to manifest as fast as you could because there's resistance. But that resistance is coming from the ego, right? The ego is what's creating the resistance. It's not the situation. It's not your vision that's creating that resistance. It's actually your own ego. So you are your own block. You are literally blocking yourself from manifesting what you want. What you want actually wants to come to you if you get into your natural state of being with no resistance. Because being and connecting to the present moment and not having the ego affect you is literally your natural state of being. That is who you truly are at a deeper level. You are not your ego, but you are simply the awareness of your ego. And if you can live your life from that place of awareness and create that spaciousness, now you're going to be in a position to actually manifest what you want much quicker, because the ego is literally the block. The block is not some external force. It may seem like that because when the ego is controlling you, it is kind of like an external force because you're unconscious of it, and then those patterns are controlling you. But literally, you are your own block. But it's not actually you, it's your ego. Who you truly are wants to manifest very quickly. Your manifestations are supposed to come very, very fast. You're supposed to be living into your vision every single moment of your life. But then the ego creates the resistance. When you're attached to this false sense of self and this whole story of what you tell yourself, Aaron Doughty always says this, that your reality is always a reflection of your internal story. But if you're unconscious of that story, then you can't change the story because you're not even conscious of it to begin with. How can you rewrite your story if you're not even conscious of the current story that you have and you're unconsciously absorbed in your thinking? And then you unconsciously being absorbed in your thinking, a lack of awareness of your thoughts, that's the ego, the unobserved mind. Part of that ego structure includes a lot of stories about who you think you are. So not only are you unconsciously absorbed in your thinking, creating lots of suffering in your life, creating lots of anger, anxiety, fear, worry, unconscious automatic reactions, those thought patterns that you were unconscious of also include a lot of stories about your life. Stories that are adding fuel to the fire and making things worse than they really are. So the key here to speed up manifestation and live into your dream is to have awareness and let go of the ego. And in the awareness of the ego is the letting go of the ego. You'll begin to notice this when you start to observe your thoughts and meditate. You'll notice that as you're looking at your thoughts, and you being the observer of your thoughts already implies letting go, assuming you're not resisting that thought and allowing it to be there. But the awareness is the allowing. If you fully allow yourself to just watch that thought and don't resist or control your thoughts and simply allow it to be there, you'll let it go much quicker. And as you do this for months and months and months, and you let go of the ego and you start to connect to who you truly are, which is pure empty awareness and being the witness of the ego, not the ego, then you're in a position to actually rewrite your story. because you're not attached to the story. When you're not attached to the story and you realize the story is not who you are at a deeper level, now you're in a position to kind of make it like a little game and rewrite your story any way that you want, because you know that either story is completely made up. Whether you're trapped in the ego unconsciously and then that's controlling your life, or you develop awareness detached from your thoughts, let those go and write a new story, both of those are made up by your mind. But the difference here is now you're in control of your unconscious mind. Now you can actually control your reality and you can actually create the life that you want, because you're not unconsciously letting those thoughts control you, but you are now the controller of your mind. So you are in control of your mind instead of your mind being in control of you. Instead of allowing the unconscious thought patterns control your life, now you are in control of those patterns. And it's not that you actually know what thought is going to come next, but you release the resistance, you create that spaciousness, and now you can say, okay, I'm going to choose to believe in the thoughts that I want, and I'm going to choose not to believe in the thoughts that I don't want. Because the thoughts will just come naturally, but then when you have awareness, you can pick and choose which story and which reality you want to believe in. And when you have that spaciousness, now affirmations are going to be more powerful. Now affirmations will actually be useful to you because you let go of the blocks, okay? So make sure you hit that like button so more people can see this kind of information and speed up their manifestations a lot quicker. If you like this kind of content, then consider applying for a free consultation, because I do powerful one-on-one sessions. If you like this kind of content, then consider hitting that subscribe button and that notification bell, because I post a new video every single day. Have yourself a great day and see you in the next video.